After the flood, Noah and his sons settled down, planting crops and growing vineyards. Their families grew and multiplied, and soon their children and grandchildren spread out across the earth, just as God had told them to do. But one group of travelers decided they didn't want to keep wandering. They wanted to settle down and make a name for themselves. "Let's stop here on this plain," they said. "Let's build a great city. A city with a tower so tall it reaches all the way to the sky. Everyone will know who we are." So they began their work right away. They made bricks out of mud and straw, baked them hard in the hot sun, and used tar-like mortar to hold the bricks together. Slowly the tower began to rise, higher and higher. But God was not pleased. Once again, he saw people becoming proud, thinking they could achieve anything on their own without him. Their arrogance and selfish ambition made God both sad and angry. He knew that if they kept going, they would fall into the same evil ways as the people before the flood. So God decided to stop their plans before things grew worse. Suddenly, the workers discovered they could no longer understand one another. Their languages became different, their words confused. One man spoke and the next couldn't understand a single word. They argued, shouted, and tried to communicate, but nothing worked. This was God's plan to scatter them across the earth, preventing them from joining together in prideful rebellion again. The great Tower of Babel was never finished. It stood there for a while, unfinished and useless, until it finally crumbled into a pile of bricks, a reminder of human pride and God's wisdom. Many of Shem's descendants settled in the rich and fertile land of Mesopotamia. In one of its cities, called Ur, lived a man named Abraham. Ur was a beautiful and prosperous city. There were merchants and scholars, and large, comfortable homes for wealthy families like Abraham's. People worshipped the moon goddess in a grand temple tower that stood at the center of the city. One day, God spoke to Abraham, and what he said was astonishing. "Leave Ur," God said. "Go to the land that I will show you. I will bless you and make your name great. Through you, all the families of the earth will be blessed." Abraham had to think carefully. If he obeyed God, he would have to leave behind the comforts of city life. He would no longer have a permanent home. He would live in tents, always moving from one place to another, searching for water and pasture. But Abraham trusted God completely. So he and his wife Sarah packed up their belongings and prepared to leave Ur. At first, they settled in Haran, a city far to the north of Ur. They stayed there until Abraham's elderly father died. Then Abraham, Sarah, and their nephew Lot continued their journey, a journey Abraham would continue for the rest of his life. Abraham and Sarah had no children, but Lot and Abraham had many servants and shepherds. Their herds of sheep and goats were large, and donkeys carried their supplies wherever they went. Slowly, they traveled from well to well, or from spring to spring, setting up their large black goat hair tents each time they stopped. And all the while, Abraham followed the path God had commanded him, toward the land of Canaan.